What's up everyone? Welcome to another episode of Autopilot Thursday. Today we're going to drive down to Irvine through the traffic of LA. I don't actually know what routes we're taking. We'll see whatever Waze takes us. I'll describe it as we go and we'll see how Autopilot does today. Let's go. All right, we're about to enter onto the 110 South ramp, California South 110 ramp. I got some coffee in here, so I'm not going to drive too jerky. Well, I guess Autopilot is probably going to drive jerky. So I guess the more and more I'm driving with Autopilot, I'm starting to kind of trust the system a little bit. So there's actually a system in Autopilot that, or there's an option in Autopilot that allows you to automatically turn on Autopilot when you turn on navigation. So I have that turned on now, so it just automatically went into Autopilot. Okay, so it's freaking out a little bit. It wasn't able to get into the left lane, even though the Honda's kind of far behind. It just did it anyway, okay. And it's not going to be able to make it. So one fail for Autopilot already. So I'm just going to take this route because it connects back into 110 South, and then I'll engage Autopilot again. So that was a little bit too hectic of a quick interchange, I would say, because all the highway merges really quickly. So now it's just going to take the I-10 East. So maybe I'll just do that instead. I'm trying to cross compare to see what Waze says and which route is the quickest way out of downtown Los Angeles. Okay, so Waze says I should go straight, so I'll go straight. Okay, getting back on the 110, let's throw that Autopilot on again. Please keep your hands on the wheels, slowing down to 42 miles per hour for some reason. Okay. Okay, so I guess it can't necessarily see where the lanes are. So it's letting this Prius go ahead. Okay, freaking out. Yep. And so it didn't realize that the lanes were merging because it was a merge lane, and instead of hitting the Prius, it was just going to keep going. Let's try this again. Man, Autopilot is trying to wake up this morning. Maybe Autopilot needs some coffee. Hopefully you guys can see and it's not too exposed. It is a bright California morning. It's about 8:53 a.m., 78 degrees, clear skies in sunny California. Probably the most optimum time for Autopilot, or should be at least. So we're going 72 miles an hour on the 110 South. Looks like some traffic is about to build up. So in terms of today's route, it looks like we're taking the 110 South for another 4 miles, and then we're going to connect to the 405 South all the way down to Irvine. Okay, Autopilot just freaked out, braked a little bit, maybe because the car on the right was trying to come in. Hopefully you guys could hear all of that. Just noticed my mic was underneath the seatbelt. So pretty normal right now, just cruising along 72 miles an hour. No one's really braking. Oh, so the Autopilot is not necessarily following the car well. It's kind of braking here and there as we go down. Okay, so now Autopilot wants me to get into the right lane to follow the route, probably because of one of the highway interchanges coming up. So let's do that. Let's let Autopilot follow the way. So Autopilot just about, I don't know, 3 minutes ago decided they wanted to go into this lane, because it was following the route, and now it wants me to go back into the left lane because it's a faster lane. So this is where Autopilot kind of gets annoying. It doesn't necessarily want to stay consistent. It wants to kind of go back and forth, but that's probably because I have it set on Mad Max right now, where it just wants to take the most fastest, craziest route no matter what. So this is exactly why I turned on confirm lane change, because there is a setting in Autopilot where the Autopilot will just do whatever it wants and you have to cancel the change. Where I have it, it has to ask me to make whatever move it wants to make. Alright, so the next exit is in 1.6 miles, so I don't necessarily know. Autopilot wants to go to the left right now, but the exit is, actually no, the exit's going straight, so it's not necessarily much. So where is the next exit after that? So maybe we will let Autopilot. So it looks like the 405 exit or interchange is in 4.4 miles. So let's go ahead and follow what Autopilot wants to do. So now I imagine Autopilot's going to speed up. Okay, here we go. So car just jumps in, it drops 10 miles an hour down. So that's where it really freaks out. I guess it's because it's assuming it might brake really quickly. So Autopilot brakes pretty harsh. Slight braking or slight deceleration with Autopilot. So now it's saying go back into the right lane because I need to follow my route. So I think we'll just chill for a little bit. The exit really isn't for another 4.4 miles, 4.5 miles. So we'll just let it stay in this lane. So Autopilot was swaying a little bit in the lane. I don't know if you could see that on the camera, but swayed a little bit in the lane back and forth there. That's just thought of an interesting idea. I should just make a compilation video of Autopilot just getting cut off over and over and over again. Okay, so now Autopilot wants me to get into the right lane, or AP. Okay. Another thing I've noticed is that Autopilot waits completely till the car in front of you is out of the lane before speeding up, and it will hold its speed until then. So people behind you might be like, what the heck? Because they might be more aggressive, so they want you to speed up once the car has kind of made their decision to leave the lane. All right, so we're about 2.2 miles away from the interchange, so I'm going to let Autopilot start doing its thing on getting over after I pass this car so it doesn't freak out. Okay, and 3, 2, 1. The right turn stalk has been engaged. 1 lane change. It's pretty clear lanes right now. You can kind of see there's no cars to the right. Okay, so it only did 1 lane change there. Okay, cars pulling in front of us. I'm hesitant to get into this lane because there's a truck. Autopilot just reminded me again that there's another lane change coming. This car is slowing down. Looks like we're about to run into some traffic. Looks like a car just pulled over to the side, so no issues. Okay, 1.2 miles away from the interchange. I have to make a decision here on when and where I want to switch over. So let's pass this truck first. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. The truck's rear turn signal wasn't on, but it was in the front, so that's kind of hard to see. Okay, 1 change. Let's do another one for it. Okay, and this should be good, I think. Let's see if Autopilot likes it. AP. Maybe I should start saying AP. Now we're just tailing behind this ambulance. It seems to be quite a distance from the ambulance. I wonder if Autopilot realizes that it's an ambulance so that it keeps an even further distance from the cars than typically. Okay, we're staying in this lane. Okay, so Autopilot at the last second figured out which lane it wanted to go into, whereas a human could kind of detect that before. Okay. All Another sudden braking from Autopilot. Okay, so now it wants me to get into the left lane. I guess we'll follow it and see what happens. You can see no one is in our left lane here, so perfectly smooth. I wonder if it's going to make me switch back because I'm pretty sure this is north and we want to go south. On the right, Autopilot made its turn signal for staying in the same lane. Let's see how Autopilot handles this highway turn. All right, not bad. Smoother than what I expected. Some of these turns you can get a little jerky, and like the steering wheel will just kind of make shifts like this as it turns to as it makes its turn through the turn, as it follows the turn. Okay, so it just automatically reduced my speed to 55, even though the speed limit is 65. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I have it set to go 10 miles over the posted speed limit, so right when I hit 65, it went to 75, which is really nice. Okay, so now we're on the south, 405 south. I'm gonna be on here for another 14, 15 miles. Pretty smooth sailing, hopefully no traffic. Super bright, sunny California. 79 degrees. The temperature will probably keep going up as we go south. Autopilot wants me to get in the left lane, so let's go ahead and appease that. See how close this car is. So I just triggered it to go in the left lane. I gave it permission, but because the car sped up, Autopilot decided to cancel itself. So it did not want to do that anymore. Check my chill. Oh, standard. So that's the thing. With aggressive drivers, probably anywhere, once you give people the signal that you're going to go into their lane, a lot of people will speed up and close that gap, which freaks out Autopilot, and Autopilot doesn't want to make the change anymore, or it brakes heavily to get behind that car to make that change. So it's with conservative Autopilot, it allows aggressive drivers to close the gap so you cannot make your lane change. So that's what kind of gets annoying with Autopilot. So Autopilot wants me to get in the left lane to follow route, so let's go ahead and do that. So yeah, see, so it freaked out. See how far that Toyota Corolla is right here? It basically freaked out for a split second because of the car was starting to slowly close the gap or slowly accelerate. So didn't like that. So unfortunately, I don't have my carpool stickers yet, so I can't get into the HOV lane, but that's another reason why I wanted to get this car, because I could get in that carpool lane and hopefully save some time. All right, so we're in the thick of it. Ran into some traffic on South 405 near exit 18. Looks like just some normal stop and go traffic, 9 miles an hour. See if Autopilot freaks out on anything. So I'd say Autopilot does pretty well in stop and go traffic. Really where I get antsy is when traffic is going like 50 miles an hour and then slows down to like 10. Because it kind of does some late braking, or maybe just because I might feel it's like it's late because I'm not braking. But at low speeds like this, I'm perfectly comfortable with Autopilot doing its thing and kind of just monitoring it as it goes. And full stop. So you probably can't see that on camera, but when Autopilot gets on, the accelerator, it kind of jerks forward pretty quickly, probably because of the instant torque, whereas a human could kind of gradually accelerate, whereas I guess Autopilot sees the car moving too far and then kind of just like wants to get up and go quickly before the gap kind of increases. So I think I'm just gonna end it here. It's pretty much a straight shot to the exit anyway. Most of the interesting parts about Autopilot is seeing how it does on highway interchanges to see if it can go from highway to highway. So thanks for watching, everybody, on this Thursday Autopilot weekly video. Hit that like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, or if you want to see more Tesla content. Post weekly on my Tesla experience. Comment below if you want me to take a specific highway in the LA area, just to see how Autopilot does for me or for your commute. All right, see you guys. Thanks. I'll see you next week.